Till the time you don't ask the Lord for interference. Just like, sometimes you may say we pray to Lord. But please be cautious and please be attentive. What do you pray? Do you pray the Lord interfere? He says, my dear Lord, just like, Prabhupada gives an example. There was an old lady. And she was carrying a burden of, sticks, like, for firewood, she was carrying it on her head, and then she was walking with so much of, trouble. And at one point of time, she lost control, and then the sticks fell away on the ground. And then she said, Vishnu, Vishnu, Vishnu. She shouted loudly, Vishnu, Vishnu, Vishnu. So now she made a prayer. So it is said the Lord Vishnu came. Chaturbudhyari, the Lord came. And the Lord said, what do you want? The old lady said, I'm stressed. I have worked so hard to get this wood and it was on my head. I just have few 100 meters to go. Oh Vishnu, please help me with the sticks and help me put them back on my head. And the Lord said, Tathastu. And put the sticks back on the head. And the old lady said, it would have been like impossible to put it back on my head. And then you go. So you pray to the Lord, but what do you pray? Do you pray for the Lord to get involved? He says, no, I have my program, my dear Lord, and I don't want any change of my game plan. जो मेरा strategy है, इसमें मेरे को कोई भी change नहीं चाहिए. I am very clear what's going to give me fulfillment. And I am failing to do that particular activity. उसको सल्टाना है, इसको सेट करना है. मैं ऑलरेडी क्लियर हूं. अभी थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है, आप थोड़ा सा सपोर्ट सिस्टम दे दो. तो इज दैट इन्वॉल्विंग लॉर्ड? It's not involving Lord. It's the Lord. Not even. It's more of, it's my own thing going on. The Lord doesn't interfere in all these cases. The Lord doesn't interfere. There are He just lets people go across with the devatas and other things. Supreme Lord usually decide because it's all like, not sure. Otherwise, we are in the inertia of our choices. Right? We're in the inertia of our choices. Whatever we are today is what we have made of ourselves today. You will not really get Lord's involvement. Just like that lady, she said, oh Vishnu, help me put the sticks back on. So, the Lord did offer some material help. But did she really? But imagine Vishnu comes in front of us. What are we supposed to ask? Huh? My stock has fallen. Just like the old lady. My dear Lord, उठा दो. उसको उतना पहुंचा दो कि कहीं पहुंचा नहीं है. Actually, you will see the quality of desire is the same, because the old lady, for her whole existence is the wood. So we may feel that, oh, poor lady, what foolish. But then, are we sure what are we going to desire if the Lord does come in front of us? Right? Isn't it? So, yes. So we will get a shadow mercy of the Lord. Something like, of a very external aspect of the mercy of the Lord. Right? You won't really get the involvement of the Lord. Because you don't want. The point that I'm trying to make is, you don't want. That is why the Lord is not able to intervene. But the Lord has full control. It's not that anything is going wrong. Everything is happening by the course of our choices, and we are all getting the repercussion of that. Now, exactly an explanation of how a particular action is connected to what happened, that may not be so easy. Because this is lifetimes of journey of unlimited people and choices that are happening through and through. So exactly what caused what, definitely everything is recorded. Like, I I always see you see there? There's a CCTV. Someone looks at it or it just gets recorded? Does the voice get recorded also? But nowadays, I know technology has advanced. All that you say gets recorded. So I was just telling, there was a problem of a gathering of some people coming together and doing some work, seva. And every time complaints would come that they're fighting. And जाके कार्रवाई करो कि किसने लड़ाई की, किसने बोला. सब लोग बोलते हम तो कुछ नहीं बोले, कुछ नहीं बोले, कुछ नहीं बोले. सब इतने मासूम. अरे यार, सब इतने मासूम तो झगड़ा क्यों होता है फिर? एंड महीनों महीनों सालों सालों कोई सॉल्व ही नहीं कर पा रहा है. तो हमारे एक भक्त टेक्नोलॉजी पढ़े, उधर पे एक सीसीटीवी ऑडियो सेंसिटिव लगा दिए और सबको बता दिया, नाउ यू आर अंडर सर्वेलेंस. उसके बाद कोई कुछ नहीं बोल रहा. कुछ भी नहीं बोल रहा है. शांति ही शांति हो गई. इसे प्रभु जी लास्ट 2-3 months no problem. Why? Because now whatever people do and say gets fully recorded. So imagine there was a scuffle and a fight. We don't have to ask them क्या हुआ. वीडियो चलाते हैं, सब साथ में देखते. दूध का दूध, पानी का पानी हो जाए. सब लोग इतना पानी हो गए कि अब सब बंद हो गए. Imagine you're traveling in a car and it's not your car, it is your some person's car and you really don't like him. So now you want to say something about him. But you know that it has grafted a device, so all that you speak will be recorded. So what do you say? What a fantastic person. He's an example for the society in Calcutta. Somehow I'm fortunate I'm his friend. And I really pray life after life he is my friend. Do you say any word otherwise? No. But what, imagine tomorrow they have a meter, they can read your heart also. अरे भाई जीना मुश्किल हो जाएगा प्रभु. But the fact of life is, just like there's a CCTV recording, Yamaraj with Chitragupta records every single thought, action and word is recorded. Every moment. There are so many sakshis. Surya is a sakshi, Chandra is a, so in the morning Surya is a sakshi, in the evening Chandra is a sakshi. There are directions which are sakshi. The devatas were sakshi. Paramatma is a sakshi. And there's so many others who are sakshi. And they record precisely, like here you may say, Prabhu ji, ये CCTV आपका biased है. तो बोले आप अपना CCTV भी एक लगा दो. तो somebody will say, यार आपने अपने आदमी को लगा के मेरे को जांचा है, मेरा आदमी भी होना चाहिए. इसलिए Yamraj and the Lord has put a system of so many people giving sakshi and intersecting to prove that this was the thought, this was the word, and this was the action at this point of time. And like this, the whole kacha chitta of every individual right from birth to leaving the body is recorded through the detail. But in Kali Yuga, they don't punish you for the thought. In other yugas, if you thought bad about someone, that also you will get reaction. Because then it is Haribol. Kali Yuga, if we start recording and giving value to people's thoughts, then it becomes hopeless. And nobody will pass below level. Parantu, Mataji, don't get so happy about it. Because whatever you think, very soon will become your words. Today that thought may not be recorded, but very soon our thought is going to come out as a word. And very soon the word is going to come out as an action. Very soon that action is going to become our habit. And very soon that habit is going to become our culture. It is not going to take any time. Right? How are you going to change? So the point that I'm trying to say is, just like our modern CCTVs, Yamaraj has his CCTVs, thought, word and action. So if everything is recorded, and the Lord has already given the whole vigilance system to so many devatas. So what I'm trying to say is there are such intelligentsia of the devatas managing the affairs. So there is nothing unfair happening in this world. Right? There's nothing unfair. Everyone is only reaping their own investments. It's all coming back. Right? But yes, we cannot discern ourselves because we don't have historical knowledge of what happened to whom. And just like the principle of karma, that they speak a story from the Puranas. Once there was a sage, a sage who was meditating, and a cow ran up to the sage and went into we have spoken about it, into the jungle. Then immediately a hunter came behind. And the hunter asked the sage, "Where is the cow? Where did it run?" The sage was feeling not to speak because he will kill, but then he cannot even speak untruth. So he didn't say anything, he just pointed out. He told the real way. In this case, he did like that. Yes. You are a devotee, so you know all the answers. You know all the sub-dharma and other dharma. So he showed up, and then the hunter went, caught the animal, Hare Krishna, and killed the animal. And time passed, generation passed, and then we see a scene of a village, and in this village there was a sage who was loitering, and suddenly it started storming weather and raining heavily, like it's happening now in Calcutta a little bit. And it started raining so heavily that he went to take shelter of a particular house. And he was getting completely hit by the rain. He knocked. In a village, he knocked at a house. And who opened? A very pretty woman. She opened. And the sage said, "Please give me shelter. I'm helpless. And then the sage was allowed inside. The particular, hermit. And then the lady said, you can stay in this quarters. And I, with my husband, am staying in the other quarters. Right? And at the dead of the night, when the hermit is sleeping, there is a knock on his room. And the room opens, and he opens it. And it's the lady, the landlady. And the landlady says, "I want to enjoy with you," the hermit. The hermit says, "I'm a sadhu, lady, you have given me shelter. How can you speak like that? You're like my mother." "You're like my mother." And that lady became very upset. "Are you not going to listen to my proposal?" Says, "Mate, how can I?" And the lady went into the other quarters. She took a knife, and then after some time you hear, she killed her husband. And then immediately there was a big halla-gulla, and the whole village assembled. And the lady said, look, I gave shelter to this hermit because he was in the stormy weathers. And then, dead of the night, this fellow rogue, he really wanted to trouble me. My husband came to save me, and he brutally killed my husband. And the law is always in the favor of the weaker sect. I mean to say, whoever is in a position. So then everyone said, yes, this hermit needs to be taught a lesson. The chief of the village, everyone caught hold of him and said, but we should not kill him because he's, by the way, a sage. We should cut off his hands. They said. And they cut off his hands. This person was completely confused. I did not do anything wrong in my life. I've been also good. Why did this so happen in my life? And then when he goes and meets other, Dura, Divya Drishti sages who know through times, and they retold him the episode of what happened in the previous lives. The same lady, the same cow that had come searching into the jungle was who became the lady, and the hunter became the husband. Right? So the hunter had killed the cow, so now the revenge. Right? So the cow who became a lady killed the husband. And this particular hermit, his mistake was to point out. That's why his hand was chopped off. So this is an episode spoken in the Puranas to help how there is nothing unjust. Everyone is reaping their choices. Now, we may not be able to exactly recollect what has gone into our lives or into the world, into the situations. But we could be rest assured that the Lord's CCTV, now depending on the individual, says, I will take revenge again. Again it will start. Actually, it is true. Imagine, actually the fact of life is, when you experience a hurt, in the Vedic times, you will see if you experience a hurt, what people would immediately say? At least I've seen my, parents and others. They would immediately say, I think I must have troubled the other person in my previous life. The elderly people will always say, शायद मैंने उनको दर्द दिया था, अभी वो उसकी सजा मिल रही है, क्योंकि ऐसा तो कोई कारण ही नहीं दिख रहा है कि क्यों इसको मुझसे बैर है. Right? Sometimes it happens, somebody just picks us on. For no good reason, they don't like our face. If they see us, they think we should be troubled. Sometimes it happens, and you will see there are some people, you just be with them, you like them. Yes. And it's a fact. It's a fact. If you have a great intimacy with someone without much investments, 100% they must be your companions in your previous life. Otherwise, how are you so intimate? There's some connection. I mean to say, all these things are so intertwined and connected. Many of the families that are together, they may be together even previously. Whatever you are being troubled, maybe you troubled the other person in the previous life. So now they are fully taking up the account seriously.